Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I'm Manesar JP, the announcer for the English broadcast here at Cosmos TV. Just like in 2020, during 2021, Cosmos TV, operated by the Multicultural General Welfare Center, is hosting the Journey with Cosmos TV, the Multicultural Family Rights Season 2 program, sponsored by the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission. In 2021, it is produced and broadcasted in 7 languages, including Korean. In the 6th broadcast, we looked into the discrimination against multicultural people's economic activities. Today is the last broadcast of Journey with Cosmos TV and Multicultural Family Rights Season 2. We invited a civil lawyer to learn about the administrative procedures that multicultural people must be aware of in the event of death. Greetings. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Can you please introduce yourself?
네, 반갑습니다.
Hello, my name is Lee Tae-won. I'm a civil lawyer and I'm running an administrative office in Apgujeong, Seoul. Nice to meet you.
Let us welcome Mr. Lee, a civil lawyer who runs an administrative office in Apgujeong area. As it sounds a bit of an unfamiliar term, can you explain what a civil lawyer does?
행정사는 행정관청에 관련된
A civil lawyer handles civil complaints and various administrative procedures. It is not easy for the general public to file and submit these kinds of documents. This is why licensed professionals like me exist. When foreigners come to Korea, they will also need to deal with several administrative issues which might prove to be difficult. We also deal with these kind of immigration-related cases in our office.
Oh, so when foreigners have to deal with administrative issues in Korea, it is the civil lawyers that give out professional help. If I could ask a more sensitive question. Recently, due to COVID-19, Korean citizens working overseas passed away. What are the procedures when a Korean dies while working abroad?
한국인이 외국에 나가서 근로하는 여러 가지
Well, there are different kind of situations for Koreans working abroad. There are cases where a Korean company and its employees are based overseas, and then there are cases where an individual person goes to work in a foreign company outside of Korea. In the first case of a Korean company based overseas, there is nothing to worry about. I don't think there's any reason for you or your family to be concerned because usually the company will handle and take care of the situation. However, it could be more complicated in the second case, where an individual works in a foreign company. If the person passes away, the local Korean embassy starts the administrative procedures required. Then, they will need to decide how to handle the remains. They will contact the bereaved family and ask, "The person passed away in said country because of these reasons. How would you like it to be handled?" The family will think about it and decide. "We need to hold a funeral, so please keep the remains frozen and have it transported home via Korean Air." Or they could also say, "Due to Corona, the situation is currently not ideal, so we would like to have the body cremated there and have the ashes sent back to us." Responses and requests differ for each situation. The embassy will then take the request, process it, and then the ambassador decides and finalizes the decision. A death certificate will then be issued in the country where the deceased died and the death report is complete. Afterwards, the actual funeral or cremation procedures are done.
So the local Korean embassy plays an important role in case a Korean citizen dies while working abroad. I would like to ask you if you have watched the recent drama called Squid Game.
저도 오징어 게임을 아주 재밌게
Yes,
봤습니다.
I also enjoyed watching Squid Game.
알리라는
Ali's character, who was an illegal immigrant worker, was particularly impressive.
대단한 역할을 하더라고요.
Yes, I watched that part very carefully too. Ali, the character from Squid Game portraying a foreign worker, eventually dies. If a foreigner living in Korea passes away in similar conditions, how will the administrative procedures be carried out in Korea?
일반적으로 외국인 노동자가 노동 현장에서 사망했을
In general, when a foreign worker dies at a labor site, the company itself has nothing to worry about. The nationality of the deceased is checked, and the corresponding embassies are contacted. For example, for Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Mongolia, you need to contact those embassies. The reasons are communicated, such as because of corona or industrial accidents. The embassy will then start the procedures needed to process the death report. Obviously, each country will also have their own laws. However, usually they will look for the bereaved families. For example, in case of a Mongolian, they will look for them and ask them, "What would you like to do with the remains?" The family could then respond, "We would like to hold a funeral abiding the Mongolian culture. So please freeze the remains and send it to Mongolia." Or, because of the current corona situation, it is difficult to hold a funeral. Please cremate the body. Or, we want to cremate it locally. Please transport the remains. The Mongolian embassy will then take those requests in consideration and follow through with the required procedure.
So first, you have to contact the embassy of the deceased foreigner in Korea. If we could dive deeper into what you just said, in case the bereaved family in their home country asks for cremation of the body, what legal action should they take?
외국인이 사망해서
If a foreigner passes away and the family then asks for a cremation and for the ashes to be sent back home, then it will need to be done in a local crematorium in Korea. The issue concerning the crematorium fees then arises. I think there are two ways that this could be handled. For example, if the company owes nothing to the deceased, then they also don't have any reason to pay for it. However, let's say that the person hasn't received their wages. Then those could be used for the crematorium fees instead. So we can say that it's handled on a case-by-case basis. As I know, after the cremation, the embassy will then deal with the airlines for the transportation of the ashes.
It seems like most of the bereaved families' opinions are reflected on the disposal of the body. Then, how will it be handled in case the deceased foreigner has no relatives in their home country? On the other hand, what procedures will be taken if the person's relative is also living in Korea?
Some foreigners come to Korea with their family and they could pass away together. And there are people who come to Korea alone and pass away alone. If the individual lives together with their family, this means they have the possibility to hold the funeral in Korea. Otherwise, they could also look for the closest relatives and do it back home. There is no issue deciding this. In case of those who come to Korea alone, we then again have two types here. Those who have families overseas and those who don't. In the former, the embassy will definitely reach out to them and ask them what they want to do. But let's say they don't have anyone to contact. No matter how hard the embassy tries, they cannot find any relatives of the deceased. The embassy then makes a decision and processes it. Usually, they will cremate the body in Korea and send the ashes to the home country. As far as I know, they probably bury it in a specific cemetery. The same goes for Koreans who die abroad. If they don't have anyone back home, no one to hold the funeral, and no one who wants to deal with it, the embassy makes a decision, usually cremates the body, and sends it to the cemetery for those who don't have any family.
So in case a relative is present, his or her will is followed. And if no relative is present, it's handled according to the foreigner's nation standards for dealing with people without family or relatives. However, there may be people who do not have any relatives in their home country or in Korea, and who wish to leave their remains in Korea. What procedures are to be taken then?
If you think about it, there are probably people who came to Korea settled here, had permanent residency, and stayed alone after their spouses passed away. They didn't turn to their home country and just stayed here because they like it here. They grew old here and have no relatives, for example, neither in Japan nor in Korea. But they probably have neighbors, colleagues, or religious connections and want to be buried next to them. In this case, the person must write a will. Without a last will and testament, no one at the Japanese embassy, the Pakistani, or the Mongolian embassy will know what the person wants. This is why most remains are sent home, because this is what the standard procedure is for those who have no family ties. Let's say the person decides to write a will. They take an A4 paper and write with a pen that they have this property. They want to be donated to this place. They want their funeral to be handled this way, and they want to be buried in that place. That's not the correct way. There are legal requirements that need to be met. This is why you need to go to a law firm or a lawyer to do it properly. A copy will then be kept in the lawyer's office, and another copy is kept by the person himself. However, there is no way for the lawyer to know when the person passes away. So I tell the people around me, if I pass away unexpectedly, please contact this lawyer. The lawyer has my will. If you tell the people around you, then I believe they will deal with it accordingly, and the embassy will follow it as well.
So in case a foreigner without a Korean citizenship wishes to be buried in Korean soil after dying, the individual must write a will with a law firm or lawyer. Mr. Lee, the number of multicultural people entering old age has been increasing recently. Can you give them some essential advice for planning this period of their life?
한국에서 노년기를 맞이하고 있는 다문화인들에게
I show great admiration to people from multicultural backgrounds who are living in old age in Korea, and I think they need to prepare various measures in advance so that their families can also pay their respects to them even after their passing. One way could be to be a naturalized citizen. If a person goes through naturalization, they will eventually choose a Korean burial site according to Korean law. The future generation can then go and pay their respect there. If the person thinks, I don't want to give up my nationality and want to maintain my nationality as it is, then they could write a will where they express their desire to be buried in a Korean burial site. If the person has a family, the bereaved family's opinions are followed because they are their family, so there is no problem here. But as I said earlier, if they don't have a family or any close relatives, then the embassy cannot know what the deceased's intentions are unless they write a will. That's why I highly recommend that things are made clear in writing and prepared in advance by following all the required legal procedures.
Yes, I see. So in order not to encounter any problems, the best way is to get a Korean citizenship. But if you can't, and there are no relatives, it's better to have a well-written will. Thank you very much for the interview. If you have anything you want to say to the viewers of Cosmos TV, please feel free to do so.
저도 구독을 하고 열심히 보고 있습니다.
I have also subscribed to the channel and have been watching it diligently. Although I have never lived abroad myself, I have felt frustrated while traveling in a different country. Communication is very difficult. Finding food and accommodation is also difficult. There are many inconveniences and complications that we might encounter. I see people who come here and live for a year, 2, 3, 4, 10 or 30 years and respect them a lot. I sincerely hope they continue to live happily in Korea. And if you have any difficulties while living in Korea, please consult with an expert. Don't think that professionals charge too much. There are many people who donate their talents. So don't feel pressured and make sure to consult with one to solve the problem. In my opinion, there are not only foreign workers, but also housewives, travelers, and permanent residents who probably go through their difficulties alone. These problems can be solved with the help of professionals, even without paying any fees. Please don't worry about it alone.
Thank you. It was very useful talking to an expert such as yourself. Lastly, could you say something supportive to the viewers of Cosmos TV?
코스모스 TV 시청자 여러분,
To all the viewers of Cosmos TV, please remember to subscribe, like, and turn on your notifications. Cosmos TV, fighting!
Thank you for everything and for taking the time to be interviewed. We'll do our best too. Viewers of Cosmos TV, it is recommended to get help from experts for essential administrative tasks while living in Korea. Also, it would be good to consult with people around you that can help. Today, the last interview of Journey with Cosmos TV and Multicultural Family Rights Season 2 was conducted with Mr. Lee Tae-won, who runs an administrative office in the Apgujeong-dong area. This year, our Multicultural General Welfare Center, sponsored by the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission, conducted multiple interviews with various experts regarding the rights and interests of multicultural people. Thank you very much for all the support from the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission, and I hope this program helped many multicultural people living in Korea. Cosmos TV is planning to prepare various programs for multicultural people in the future as well, so make sure you subscribe. Everyone, stay healthy, and until next time, much love.